Our favourite time of the week because we get to talk to Megyn Kelly in the US. My friend, Ron versus Don. It's going to happen.
It's on, and it's exciting. I'm looking forward to this, I have to say. I know some people just wanted to coronate one guy or the other, but this is democracy in action, and it's fun to see. And whoever emerges out the other end of this will emerge stronger and better going into the general election. They're so different. I mean, all the candidates who have thrown their hats into the ring so far on the GOP side, and on the Dem side for that matter, are so different. So we have some real policy distinctions and certainly some real personality distinctions. And I say, bring it. I'm excited.
Now, the way this fight happens is that obviously we know how Trump's going to play DeSantis. I reckon he's just a foreshadow of a line here. This is a guy who can't beat Mickey Mouse. How's he ever going to beat China? You know how that's going to work. But DeSantis has to take on Trump. But if he takes on Trump, and for whatever reason Trump is taken off the field, millions of people who DeSantis would need to get to the presidency could just completely walk away.
He has no choice but to take on Trump. His strategy thus far has been to not lay a glove on Trump, try to avoid Trump, and try to win over Trump's voters. Guess what that's gotten him? It's gotten him Donald Trump 61% in the latest poll, and Ron DeSantis 16, the reverse of those two numbers. It's a disaster. It doesn't work. He's not going to wrest Trump's voters away from him. He's got to do what he can to consolidate all of the non-Trump vote. And that can mean embracing the Trump MAGA message, but not the messenger. You know, he can telegraph, we're done with Trump. We need to move past Trump, and then start saying all the agenda items that he would push, which most Republicans like. Most Republicans are behind the Trump agenda, save one or two things. And if he thinks he's going to get through this without punching the big bad bully in the nose, he's wrong. He's going to get it, and he's going to have to give it back. His strategy thus far has failed. That's the truth of where DeSantis is thus far. It doesn't have to be his future.
Target in the United States, the latest of these big companies to go way too far. Now, I saw some videos of a mother walking around Target showing all of, not just the pride stuff, but some really out there stuff that is marketed at toddlers. This is some creepy stuff, but it seems, unlike Bud Light, they're actually doing something about this pretty quickly. Now, they've approved it to happen in the first place, but now that they have been caught, they might get rid of it pretty quickly too.
They're scared, and they should be. But shame on them, because they're only moving these displays to the back, and only so far in southern or more conservative states. So it's still going to be front and center when you walk in a more blue-leaning state. And what is it that we're talking about? This isn't gay pride, the rainbow flag, and, I have two dads. No, it's gone well beyond that. Now they have mannequins in tuck-it female one-piece bathing suits. So you've got the mannequin wearing the one-piece woman's bathing suit with some weird patch for a penis that doesn't belong, because women don't have penises. None of us does. And none of us needs a tuck-it pocket in the front. It's absurd. And we don't want to walk into Target and have to explain what the hell that's doing there to our little ones when we're just there to buy a baby bottle or some dog food. So Target's getting it, and they're getting it bad from conservatives from coast to coast, and even from liberals who don't want to walk in on this. A lot of liberals are not woke. And so what are they doing? They're trying to appease the ones in the red states by moving things to the back, but they are having at least an emergency meeting. And that's a good thing. Like they're recognizing that this is a possible Bud Light moment for them. And that's good. So the Bud Light boycott continues to work, and it's still in full effect, Paul. Their latest sales are down, I think, 25%. It's only going one direction. It's been like 23%, 25%, maybe 28%. The people are not buying Bud Light, and Bud Light has gotten it. They're now on the point where they're going to have to buy up the beer that they gave to their distributors that's just sitting there on the distributors' shelves to try to make it up to them for their own erroneous judgment. And it's a great lesson. By the way, don't even get me started on Adidas, which, speaking of the tuck-it swimsuit, has a guy parading around in it like he's, I don't even know. I don't even want to compare this man to any actual woman because it's offensive. But they need to learn a lesson as well.
What about Prince Harry? He, after the 2-hour near-fatal car chase in a city that, if you could drive around for 2 hours, it'd be called a John Wick movie, not anything that would happen in real life. He has lost his bid to get the British taxpayer to pay for his security when he turns up in the UK. Finally, a little bit of just desserts for this bloke. What do you think?
Have you ever seen anyone with more entitlement than these two. So he can hire his own security. How do you think Beyonce navigates Manhattan when she comes over with her billions of dollars and her billionaire husband? You think it's easy for her, easier than it is for those two? Okay, Beyonce's 100 times the star that those two are. And somehow, Paul, she manages it. She hires her own security. And that's what Harry and Meghan should do in the UK, the US, and wherever the heck else they want to go. But no, he feels entitled to have it exactly the way it was when he was a royal. I want to be able to pay the police force, the actual police force, because what, you can't find an armed bodyguard? You can't find a good bodyguard to protect you? Bull. So they said no, but he has that sense of entitlement. Same as this pair, who finds themselves with a few paparazzi following them when they left her Woman of Vision award ceremony. Yeah. And not only did they make up a fake car chase that never happened and say it was near catastrophic, which is, what is that? What does that mean? It means nothing happened. Catastrophic's one thing. Near catastrophic is, I got scared when a guy in a Vespa went by. It's another lie. And the cops have dumped on it, and the taxi driver has dumped on it. Everybody's dumped on it and said it wasn't true. But then they turn around and demanded to have the photographs that the paparazzi took of them. Well, sorry, champ, but that's not the way it works in this country. That's the property of the photographers, who, whether you like them or not, work very hard for what they do, and they have no obligation. They sent a lawyer letter to the photographers saying, turn them over. There's no obligation to do that. It's their sense of entitlement, and it's dripping, oozing out of their pores. What they needed to do was walk out of this event, smile, wave, stand, pose, let the paparazzi do their thing. Let them get the photo. You're all dressed up. You look great. Let them have their photo. And then they won't hound you like, you're something special trying to get the photo. They will get the photo. That's rule number one of the paparazzi. You learn it pretty early on when you're a public figure. The fact that, she skipped all of those learning experiences by marrying into the firm explains some of her naivete. Harry, I have no excuse for him. But the pair of them needs to understand that the paps have a job to do. It's not pleasant. Take it like a man or a woman. Move on and stop complaining, especially in a city like New York. We hate whiners. We're the city that lost 3,000 people on 9/11. We went back to work the next day. We went to the financial stock exchange and we bought stock just to keep the city rolling. We don't like complainers.